We were talking about pride earlier, right?
Hmm.
And I can recall a time where you ever heard of Bed Bath and Beyond?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there was a time where I applied for a position with Bed Bath and Beyond. It was a district manager position. Bro, I wouldn't have known what I was doing, but I was going to do whatever it took to be able to get that job. And bro, all I was asking these people to pay me was $60,000. Like when I look back on that, that was the dumbest thing in the world. But it's like I didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, something that has always stuck out to me was I went through three different interviews. I got to the fourth interview, which the third interview was supposed to be the last one, but they always had another interview waiting for me.
Mm.
And so I went to the fourth one, and I remember telling the guy, it was an old white guy, man, and I told the guy, he was talking to me, he was saying, "You seem like the type of person who, when somebody tells you something, you hold them to that. You don't expect them to deviate from it. And if they have to deviate from it, you have a big issue with that." And I was a little bit offended by him saying that because he didn't say it in a positive way. What he was saying was he doesn't think I'm flexible. And
Mm.
he was saying that if they were to hire me and something were to happen, then I would hold it against them because they weren't able to do what they said they would do. He's kind of right because if I say, "Hey, I'm going to do something," bro, I'm going to do it. It's going to be very hard for me not to.
Yeah.
So in some regards, he's right, but I'm really flexible to understand that things happen, right?
Hmm.
But one of the lowest points in my life for me was I was just so defeated at that moment because what I said to this man, I'll never forget it, bro. I literally looked at this man because all I'm thinking about, Che, is that I don't want to sell drugs. I don't want to go out here and like try to rob nobody. I don't want to hurt anybody, man. I don't want to go do anything to take me away from my family. I had no type of pride at that moment. I told this man, I said, "Listen, sir," I said, "Listen, I'm not like that." I said, something changes, it changes. I said, "Listen, man, I'll be your dog." The words out of my mouth to this man was, "I will be your dog." You know how crazy that is?
Yeah.
It's
Man.
because but it's really because I really wanted to live a righteous life, bro, and do the right thing for my family. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have cared, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's me just trying to like do the right thing. And in doing so, at that moment, I had no pride. So sometimes people see me working and like, "Bro, you're always working." Yes, because I will never in my life be in a position to tell another human being I will be your dog.
Hey, hey, family. This is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, we moving and shaking out here, man. 66 episodes in. We are getting to it. So, guys, as always, I'd like to say if you are a first time listener, thank you so much for tuning in. On this Wealth is a Journey podcast, we talk about faith, family, and finances, among other things. If you are a return listener, thank you so much for coming back. Hopefully, we're adding value to your lives on this way to the M's because we're getting to the M's, y'all. We are definitely getting to the M's. And today, I got a special guest today, guys. I got my guy in my head. In my head, he's my guy. Uh, CEO Josh Earl. He's my brother from the morning meetup. We've had many chat conversations, and I'm like, look, man, got to have you on the podcast. It only makes sense. So, CEO Josh Earl, thank you so much for joining us today on Wealth is a Journey podcast, bro.
Hey, Che, what up, brother? The pleasure is 100% mine, man. You are definitely my guy. You are my brother, and you're a huge inspiration to me, man. So it's a pleasure to be here, brother. Thank you so much for having me, man.
Absolutely, bro. I appreciate you, fam. So we gonna get into it, and guys, you want to understand later on in the episode why I have him on here. But before we get to all that, who is Josh Earl?
That's a great question, man. I have to say that in a nutshell, I am a child of God first. I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I am an entrepreneur that made something from nothing through God's grace. So that's in a nutshell. That's who Josh Earl is.
Mm. Josh, and you've I know you're Dave's man as well. And you've been in MMU for how long? About roundabout.
Uh, I think that I've officially been inside of MMU for probably it's probably going on closer to 2 years now, man.
Okay. MMU
Yeah.
has completely changed my life. And I've been in probably about the same amount of time you have.
Mhm.
So my question is who was Josh Earl before you joined MMU and who is Josh Earl now?
Yeah. Hey, Che, let me just say this real quick, bro. Like, I've seen your growth, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not even being funny. I'm being serious. Like, you really have been an inspiration for me because yeah, Dave is really, really good friend of mine, probably one of my best friends, but
Mhm.
I've always kind of played the background. And I remember
Yeah.
you saying the same thing as well. I'm always doing something in the background. So I think a lot like you, man, who I was before MMU was much more passive. I was much more passive. But now I'm more aggressive when it comes to attacking these things that I want to attack. And just to be transparent, I think, and I realized this today, one of the reasons I think I kind of played the background so much is because I didn't want people to feel like I was a new entrepreneur.
Mm,
I didn't want them to think I was just starting out. So I think like my insecurity subconsciously is what caused me to play the background. And my relationship with David is we literally like brothers. Like when I tell you we're always at each other's neck about something in a
mhm.
loving and supportive way, but we
Yeah.
really get each other a hard time. That probably played a role into it as well. I didn't want him to see me as a person that was a new or beginning entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? And so I didn't realize the value that I would get from that community. But listen, I love MMU, bro. I love MMU.
Yes. 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 So the person you are now, you would say you were playing the background, such as I was doing the same thing. We just talked about it. And now you're just super aggressive now with going after your goals and dreams and aspirations. Because like before you started hosting, I didn't know what you did at all. And and it's no that and that's real, man. And
That's
and
real. That's
I
real.
think that what MMU specifically, you joined for Dave. You want to hear,
Yeah.
you want to get all the game, you want to get all the information. How's this going to enrich my life and take my life and my business to the next level? However, what I'm finding is that the connections within the community, the rapport that you're building with people who can help take you to the next level as well. And it's not just Dave. So
Yep.
now I'm starting to get an understanding now that I'm out of my shell that it's not about him. It's
Yep.
really about the community.
100%. 100%. And I'll tell you this too, Che. Like for me, like because David is a really good friend of mine, I don't take advantage of the relationship.
Mhm.
We have this. I don't know if you know who this guy Jay Hill is, but Dave was talking to Jay Hill, and he told Jay Hill has a podcast too. But he
Mhm.
told Jay Hill, he said, "Yo, how often do you call me?" And Jay Hill was like, "I mean, I don't really call you like that." He was like, "Yeah, because you there's an open line of communication. We're friends." He
Yeah.
said, "But if you weren't my friend and you had access to, you would actually pay me thousands of dollars to get access to me to get the information that you can just call and get for free." And I felt that because that's me. Like Dave and I was coming from, we went and worked out, and then we went to like get a smoothie, and we went to his new event space that he's building, the podcast place. And we were just talking, me, him, and his father-in-law. And I said to him, I said, "Yo, man, there's a lot of stuff that I don't ask you that I know you might know the answer to. But the reason why I don't ask him is because, like I told him, I said, I felt like maybe if I found the answer myself, or if I kind of struggled through it, I would value it more." And so
Mm,
I told him, I said, I just wanted to kind of, I feel like I needed to take the hard route. And he just shook his head. He was like, "Bro, like, that doesn't make any sense." He was like, "Why would you want to do something hard? Why would
yeah.
you not ask me if you think I might have the answer?"
Yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean? And so the
I,
community
I
is everything. It's not about Dave for me.
yeah, no, bro, I agree with you 100%. And as I'm on my entrepreneurial journey, I've been an entrepreneur since 2007, I'll say. 2006, 2007. My wife and I bought our first rental property. Um, and I'm starting to find now that back then when we were coming up, I'm not sure how old you are, but I'm assuming you're around my age or 30,
I'll be 40
38.
this year.
Yeah, there you go. And I
September.
think
Yep.
it was like a badge of honor, more so probably pride, to say I did it myself.
Yep.
Nobody helped me. I did it from the muscle. And that way of thinking is stupid.
It is.
Because if you can
It is.
get from A to B faster or A to Z faster, why not?
Yep.
But you do learn lessons along the way. I'm not going to say that like the journey to me
Facts.
is more important than actually getting to the destination. However,
Absolutely.
if you can get to the destination faster, why not do that?
It just makes sense. It makes sense. And really, too, Che, I'm sorry, let me move this chair,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, go ahead, bro.
Um, Realistically, too, to your point, the ideology of I want to be able to say that I did it myself. I did it my own way. I did everything myself. Even for us who are believers, that's like a really arrogant statement. But
Facts.
that was me. That was, I mean, and to be real, I still sometimes struggle with it, but I'm a lot more like comfortable now reaching out and getting help or paying for mentors or whatever it is because you can't do it yourself, bro. You just can't do it yourself. You
Yeah.
can't do it all yourself.
Yeah, man. It's I mean, I think it comes with age and just learning and being aware, having that sense of awareness. I feel like the older I get, the more aware I am of things that happened to me when I was a child, things that that was happening throughout my life, and now I
Yeah.
understand why those things happen, and not thinking that, oh, woe was me, that was bad. Like my childhood wasn't crazy or anything like that, but just little things you go through, whatever the case may be. But
Right.
Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Are you tired of using your credit cards as an emergency fund? Are you tired of getting stressed out anytime you think about money? If the answer to any of those questions is yes, I'm here to help. My name is Che Willis, and I help families living paycheck to paycheck live the life that they want to live through budgeting and investing. And I understand the word budgeting may be scary. However, we're trying to take the fear out of that word. All we're doing is telling our money where to go, as well as reducing our expenses and taking that money, marching it into the marketplace, and making us some money babies. That's all we're doing. So if you need help, please go to wealthisajourney.com. Again, wealthisajourney.com. There are free resources on there for budgeting tools. There are digital products on there to help you on your investing journey. And there's one-on-one coaching. So if you need help, go to wealthisajourney.com today. I look forward to seeing you soon.
but it sucked at the time going through it. But after you make it on the other side, you understand why you went through the thing and how you are a better person as a result of it. And something that I'm realizing now is that like as I'm going through the morning meetup and when I first came into the morning meetup, I was kind of apprehensive at first because again, I had that mentality that I could just do it by myself and I could do things on my own and I don't need anybody to do and make it to, make it, multi-millions and all that stuff. But like I'm really understanding now, like you need people. And again, like you said, being a believer, like you're not doing it on your own. God is putting like strategically placing people in your life to help you achieve the goal that you want to get to give him the glory and all the things, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
it's this man, this is a good conversation already. Look at this, man.
Because we got to take it there, bro. Because I mean, like even like how you started it off, we're believers, bro, and so I think as if we set the example as men, showing that we have a level of, bro. You're literally sitting in a home theater right now. I'm looking at you in a home. I see the plush, comfy couch. Like I see them joints. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's important for us to be able to communicate that even though we've had a level of success, and you shared your story the other day, and I was really touched by it. We've both come from like an environment that wasn't really set up for us to be nurtured in a way to grow into who we've become.
Correct.
And I really believe that, us in a situation that we're in right now financially, we're in a position to be able to show people that you don't have to be out here robbing. You don't have to be out here like doing people dirty. You don't have to be out here stealing and scamming. And no, you can get it out the mud.
Mhm.
And I think that is more of a testimony to who God has allowed us to become and who we are, more so than us just thinking and saying that we did anything alone. So yeah, how you started this podcast off, bro, it was perfect.
Bruh. I appreciate you, man. I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm getting more
No doubt.
comfortable. 60 plus episodes in, man. So I
Yes.
appreciate the feedback. For sure, bro. My my I want to set this question up. So I believe
Set that
that
joint up, bro.
yes, I believe that you have defining moments in your life
Mhm.
that propel you to the next level in your business, in your marriage, whatever the case may be.
Absolutely.
For this question specifically, I want to talk about me, how I was scared to death to speak. Again, childhood trauma. You get
Yeah.
made fun of if you say something wrong or you do something wrong, whatever the case may be. That's just that's just what it is. However,
Yeah.
it sometimes carries into adulthood. So when I first got to MMU, I'm like, I'm not going to talk. I'm just going to enjoy the show. I'm going to watch everybody else do what they do, hear about all the great things that they do, but but sharing book bars, sharing what I learned
Yeah.
from the book, sharing the mental moments and so forth, help me break out of that to be able to present to the group. So that was a defining moment for me in my business because that helped me personally and it helped me in my business. Being able to do those things by just taking little incremental steps. So
Mhm.
my question to you is, what was that defining moment for you that kind of took you and or your business to the next level?
It's probably hosting, bro, which is recent. Honestly, because and I remember you mentioning about the whole speaking thing as well, because that's one of the things that I'm into. Like I love speaking. I love being able to deliver messages, and whether it's like a spiritual preaching message, biblical, Bible studies or whatever, or if it's just talking about finances or whatever it is.
Mhm.
But I would oftentimes be more reserved because I grew up pretty rough too. And I think a lot of my childhood traumas come from the issues or the things that I saw and did, which
Mhm.
made me more cautious around other people. And so I needed to be able to kind of sit back, observe everybody, see who's who. Like you're one of the people too who, like, I was like, I got to connect with that guy,
Yeah.
and it was you as a few other people that were like that. And so me hearing you talk about you wanted to do a lot of speaking, and I can clearly remember you mentioning how you were raising your hand more inside of the community. You were being more vocal in the community. So that for me also encouraged me as well, because again, I felt as though we had that in common. But me really being able to host a morning meetup, the reason why it impacted me so much is because of me hosting a morning meetup. Now I'm back to teaching financial literacy online. I used to not do I took away the free community that I had, and I only did my paid community. But now I have Financial Fridays on Fridays where I teach free financial literacy. But I wasn't doing that. It's like that, the feeling of being able to pour into other people, it came back. That great feeling came back just from hosting the morning meetup. So when they were talking about, the next month, someone else doing it, I was like, yo, let me run that joint back. Run that joint back. Let me go
Yes.
do it again. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? And so that it opened me up to really see, like, the power is in the people. So, and I realized too, again, through self-reflection, but I was being a little bit arrogant because it's like I didn't want anyone to think like, oh, he's just starting out, because I'm not. But I've gotten so much value from people who may not be as far along in the journey as I am,
Mhm.
but that's how it's supposed to be. We all get something from each other. So, I'll say, man, just really, and I'll say there's one other thing. When we went to the Creators Clubhouse this last time, normally when I go into places, I'm always kind of like reserved. I need to kind of see who's there, see do I know anybody, see who may know me, really fill the room out. Bro, when I walked in there, I looked inside. I see Cynthia. I just see everybody. And
Yeah.
oh, Josh, hey, what's up? Come here. Bro, the feeling was an amazing feeling. I've never felt like that before going into events, because normally I don't know people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I've built those relationships inside of the community. So like when I see you, like, Shay, what up, bro? Like I feel like I've known you forever. You know what I mean? So the relationship is there. There's a bond there. And I think that's the power of community, really.
Absolutely. I'm this is a little fun fact here. This is the first actual conversation like that we've ever had. Like
It is. And it's weird.
fam, this is the beauty of the
Crazy.
of being of having like-minded people in your circle and connecting with
Wow.
people because of their energy. Like
Yeah.
on the calls, like fam, like the energy is there, and I'm like, yo, this is a good dude right here. So I need to connect with him, kind of like you said.
Wow.
So I'm like, this is a no-brainer right here, man. And one thing that I love is a success story is somebody who came from a certain place and
Mhm.
they did not allow their circumstances to dictate where they're going to go or who they're going to be. I watched a clip on IG of you saying that you came from a certain place or you were in a certain way a while back. So if you don't mind, I'm assuming you know what I'm talking about. It was just recent. So if you wouldn't mind kind of just shedding a little bit of light on that and how you got from there to here. And you take as long as you need.
Yeah, man. I love that question. I think it's a great question. Um, so just to kind of shed a little light on, I guess my journey, right? So I moved here. I moved to Atlanta. Maybe my son is 18, so I moved to Atlanta about 18 years ago, and I moved from North Carolina, a small city in North Carolina called Rocky Mount. 252. Stand up. What up? So the reason why I moved to Atlanta, really, bro, was because so back home I had a situation where I had some women.
Mm-hmm.
And the girls that I was dating, there was issues between them, kind of bickering back and forth, fighting back and forth. Is it freezing up, Jay?
You good?
Okay, okay, my bad.
Yep. You good?
And so I was dealing with issues with these women, and I was supposed to have one girlfriend, but I was cheating, and she knew about it, and they all are from the same kind of community. It was just a disaster, bro. But the lifestyle that I lived was my roommate at that time too. He actually got arrested, and he was a really smart guy, brilliant guy, and he had so much money. He was a drug dealer, like a big time drug dealer. I was a drug dealer as well, but I just wasn't as big as he was.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up going to the Connects house to be able to re up to get more drugs to sell or whatever. And I'm telling you, if you see this guy, you would never think that he had as much money as he had. He just looks like you would think I had all the money, but
Mm-hmm.
really it was him. But he pulled up to the guy's house, and when he pulled up, the police were actually about to run inside of the guy's house. But as they were going across the street to run into the guy's house, they saw one of my good friends pulling up into his driveway, and so they stopped. And then they said, "Well, let's just wait for him to get out the car." And then they did. They waited for him to get out the car. He got the money out of the trunk, and he went and about to go knock on the door. But as he was going to the door, they intercepted him. And so he can't lie and say I'm at the wrong house. Like it's an active drug rate that's happening. He's got maybe $40,000 in cash. Like, what are you at a wrong house with? And he's also a felon. And so he had guns in the car. And we had an apartment together back home. And inside of that apartment, we had so many guns in there, bro. And so he called me, and I was driving. I was still in North Carolina at the time, and I was leaving our apartment. And he called me. He was like, "Hey, yo, Killer." Like my nickname is Killer. Killer Cash is my nickname. Was my nickname at home, nickname back home.
Okay.
But he was like, "Hey, yo, Killer." He said, "I got picked up. We might have some company, so you might want to go and clean the house up." I already knew what that meant.
Yeah.
So, bro, I literally turned my car around so fast that I almost flipped over. And as I'm driving, because I didn't know when he got picked up. I didn't know if they were already at the house. I just knew we had a lot of stuff in that house that was going to get me in a lot of trouble. He's already in trouble. It's going to get him in more trouble, but get me in a lot of trouble too.
Yeah.
So I ended up going back to the house, and fortunately, no one ever came. But I was able to clean everything up, and kind of working through that process with him. He was like, "Hey, they have me on gun charges too, and I'm a felon, so that's going to be even more time for me." And so he was like, "I don't really want to take this gun charge. Would you mind saying that they're yours?" Yeah, that sounds crazy. And I laugh, bro, because there's no way in the world I would do that today. But
Yeah.
at the time, that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? And I want to make sure that I could, like, I've always been that person, man, where when it comes to people that I love, my friends, family, like I've always been ready to kind of crash out behind them. And me not wanting him to get in trouble was what put me in the position to really try to take that charge for him. I
Mm,
don't have a record or
mm.
anything like that. So I told the police that they were my guns. Fortunately, it came back clean. Most of the guns that we got them from one of the guys that I knew from high school, and he got them from a guy that has a pawn shop back home. So that's why all the guns were clean and everything. So so dealing with the issues with the girls that I was dealing with the issues with me trying to get out of that lifestyle of, just womanizing and, dealing drugs and walking around with a gun all the time and just not really feeling safe. I was in a situation where I was talking to my mom. My mom was like my best friend, bro. And I was telling her, I was like, Mom, I said, hey, listen, I'm thinking about moving to Atlanta. And she was like, oh, really? That's good. I don't want you to go, but but you really do need to get away from around here. And so, and I'm gonna try not to cry, man, because like this, for me, like this story, anytime I think about my mom and just what she sacrificed for me to be able to come down here is it's extremely like touching to me.
Yeah.
So my and I this is another thing I needed to add too. So my dad, he's always been on drugs. And my dad was on drugs like in and out of prison my entire life, which is one of the reasons why I struggled so much as a kid. And so my roommate that got arrested right before all that stuff happened, my dad had actually broken into my car that was at my job that I worked overnight. He stole my house keys, and I had like 2 or 3 guns in my car. I used to sell drugs in my job and take guns. But anyway, he broke into the car. He stole my house keys. He stole the guns that I had in my glove compartment. And then he went to my house. I had another roommate that was staying there with his son was there that night. My dad broke into my apartment while my roommate was asleep, stole money, stole drugs, stole guns, stole all this stuff, bro. And so that ended up happening. And now those things that he stole was from me, but was also from my friend that I told you that got locked up. And I felt like a moral obligation to repay that because my dad is the one that did it. And so essentially my point in saying all of that was back home, my reputation was really, really, it wasn't terrible because I moved in silence for the most part, but the police were starting to even know who I am because my mom, she works at the police department. She was telling me like, hey, they're telling me that you're like this big time drug dealer and you're this big time like gang leader. And I was like, me? Mom, come on, man. And in my mind, I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But I guess in the police mind, I was. So I told her, I said, Mom, I said, listen, I said, I need to leave. I just need to get away. And I didn't know exactly that I was going to go to Atlanta. But what happened was I applied for apartments in Atlanta, New York, New Jersey, Florida, and California. I just so happened to hear back from Atlanta first. And so that's why I told her, I said, hey, I'm going to Atlanta. Now, what ended up happening was when I'm getting ready to move, like I just told you, my dad broke into my place, right?
Mm-hmm.
He stole my money, so I couldn't go. And so, and on top of that, my niece's mom, she let me carry one of her kids on my taxes. You know how black people do.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
And turns out she let somebody else carry the kid first. So now the taxes that I'm going to get in order to be able to move, I can't take it because I got audited and they just took all my money and I owe the IRS money now. And so, like, it seems like, bro, everything that could prevent me from moving was just present. And so my mom came to me and she was like, she said, baby, I know you want to go to Atlanta. I don't want you to go, but you need to go. She was like, I have $1,000. I'm going to give you my $1,000. You go to Atlanta and you make something of yourself. And so if you, to really know, like, really, bro, the magnitude of why that's so touching, my mom doesn't make a lot of money. She just doesn't. So for this woman to give me $1,000, bro, that's a big deal. And so, I took the money. I moved out. I packed. She had a brand new car. It was a Ford Escape, like pretty much brand new. I had a Honda Accord that was old, but she gave me her Escape and was like, "Take my car, so that way you have an air conditioner down there, and you're able to kind of get yourself situated." I loaded all my stuff inside of the car. Drove to Atlanta. Met my roommate that I found online. A random girl I found online that was looking for a roommate. And so she and I, we clicked, and it was never any kind of like sexual thing or nothing like that. She was just like my sister. But yeah, bro, I came down here, didn't have a job. I didn't have nothing. I had nothing, bro. And I would go out sometimes and party and different stuff like that. But one thing that I never did was just to lay around. You know what I mean? Like if I were to, let's say we're going to go out tonight, I'm getting up in the morning and I'm going to look for a job. And that's what I did, bro. I look for a job every single day. I filled out 20, 30, 40 applications a day sometimes. And so, because a lot of it was online.
Yeah.
And so I just grinded, bro. And I was fortunate enough to be able to get a job for $10 an hour. And it was like an hour and a half away. And I did that for a little bit, man. And I was working for a company called Man Alive, which is a clothing store. And I ended up getting recruited by Aeropostale, which is another clothing store. And so I went and worked for them because I made more money. And it's just like, situation after situation, man. I was every single year I would look back and see where I had grown in some type of way. And I can recall the anniversary of me being down here. I think I was here maybe 3 or 4 years. And I just was so impressed with what I had done. And I was just telling a lot of my friends back home, like, yo, y'all need to come down to Atlanta. Like, cause I wasn't married. I just was me. Cause I had moved out from being my roommate and everything too. And so, yeah, man. So, I ended up being able to get into like management positions, and I ended up becoming a manager with Walmart. And I did that for a little bit. They ended up firing me. And they tried to say I stole like a bottle of water, and they said I did a lot of, it's like stupid stuff, bro. But I was able to prove I didn't do it, but no one would really look at the evidence. And so this happened in like November of 2019. So what I ended up doing was in December of 2019, I went and bought a Porsche. And it makes no sense.
Wait. How did you do that?
I know it's weird, right? It makes no sense, bro. Like I went and bought a Porsche of all things. And this was my logic. So just so you know my logic, it was a dumb decision, and I still have the car to this day. But my logic was, if I get the car, it's going to motivate me to want to go harder in order to keep the car. But also too, I could take it and put it on Toro as a way of making money to supplement, or to cover the income that I don't have at the moment. And so I did that, bro, and it was a terrible decision, but it ended up working out. I ended up getting 4 other cars, and I had like 5 cars total. And I ended up getting into hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt, bro, from credit card debts to car payment, like just everything, because I wasn't able to really make money because I didn't understand business the way I thought I understood business.
Yeah.
And so, that ended up making me learn about credit. That's what made me understand how to do credit repair. Me learning how to do credit repair also helped, because what happened was I was doing business stuff under my personal credit, and that destroyed my credit. So it's like I learned all these different things just through going through so much hardship. And those same things that I learned are things that I started to teach other people just as I learn it. You know what I'm saying? And it grew into a business for me, bro. And it's something that I'm really, really good at, and I've been very successful with it. And so it just kind of shows me, man, how you can be in a situation that you think is just the end of everything. But if you just hang in there and just keep chipping away at it, then eventually things are going to get better, especially if you have the right mindset to believe that you're being led to do things by God, if you're doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And so I know that was long and drawn out, bro, but that's kind of it.
Damn, that's perfect, fam, because like I think people need to understand, like, everybody has problems, right? But
Yep.
I believe after reading my favorite book is Outwitting the Devil, man. Shout out to
I love that book,
George
bro.
George Mr. Highlight Films. He's the one, he's an MMU member as well. He's the one who put me on this book, and I've probably read it 3 times already. And I'm gonna make it a point to read it every year because there's so
Yeah.
many gems in that book. And one of my favorite quotes, and I'm gonna try to remember it, it is every adversity comes with it the seed of an equivalent benefit. So
Yep.
anything that you go through, and it's I feel like all a matter of perspective. If you look at it as, hey, I can learn from this thing and just don't do it again,
Yep.
then you'll be way better off. And it'll put you on a path to do great things, man. And I think because you had the right perspective and you hustled, and you didn't get down on yourself and woe is me, because I think a lot of times we do that,
Yep.
and
That's a
it
fact.
just puts us in a worse situation, man. And shout out to you for just continuing to go.
I appreciate that, bro. Hey, yo, and what's crazy, man? We were talking about pride earlier, right?
Hmm.
And I can recall a time where you ever heard of Bed Bath and Beyond?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there was a time where I applied for a position with Bed Bath and Beyond. It was a district manager position. Bro, I wouldn't have known what I was doing, but I was going to do whatever it took to be able to get that job. And bro, all I was asking these people to pay me was $60,000. Like, when I look back on that, that was the dumbest thing in the world. But it's like I didn't know any better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, something that has always stuck out to me was I went through 3 different interviews. I got to the fourth interview, which the third interview was supposed to be the last one, but they always had another interview waiting for me.
Mm.
And so I went to the fourth one, and I remember telling the guy, it was an old white guy, man, and I told the guy, he was talking to me, he was saying, "You seem like the type of person who, when somebody tells you something, you hold them to that. You don't expect them to deviate from it. And if they have to deviate from it, you have a big issue with that." And I was a little bit offended by him saying that because he didn't say it in a positive way. What he was saying was he doesn't think I'm flexible. And
Mm.
he was saying that if they were to hire me and something were to happen, then I would hold it against them because they weren't able to do what they said they would do. He's kind of right, because if I say, "Hey, I'm going to do something," bro, I'm going to do it. It's going to be very hard for me not to.
Yeah.
So in some regards, he's right, but I'm really flexible to understand that things happen, right?
Hmm.
But one of the lowest points in my life for me was I was just so defeated at that moment because what I said to this man, I'll never forget it, bro. I literally looked at this man because all I'm thinking about, Che, is that I don't want to sell drugs. I don't want to go out here and like try to rob nobody. I don't want to hurt anybody, man. I don't want to go do anything to take me away from my family. I had no type of pride at that moment. I told this man, I said, "Listen, sir," I said, "Listen, I'm not like that." I said, "Something changes, it changes." I said, "Listen, man, I'll be your dog." The words out of my mouth to this man was, "I will be your dog." You know how crazy that is?
Yeah.
It's
Man.
because but it's really because I really wanted to live a righteous life, bro, and do the right thing for my family. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have cared, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's me just trying to like do the right thing. And in doing so, at that moment, I had no pride. So sometimes people see me working, they're like, "Bro, you're always working." Yes, because I will never in my life be in a position to tell another human being, "I will be your dog." It ain't
Bruh.
happening, bro. It ain't happening.
And I love that the catalyst for you never to go back to where you came from, bro. And
Absolutely.
I think that people in general, they need that thing that they're saying, I'm never going back there again. And it's like I'm running as fast as possible away from that thing that
Yep.
is that thing that I remember, that trigger for me. And not being able to do the things that I wanted to do and have the things that I wanted to have, that was that trigger for me, which then morphed into wealth as a journey. Again, letting people know that, yo, if I did it, you can do it too, and here's the steps.
Absolutely.
boom, here's the steps here, 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 and here. And I think that's awesome, man. That you know that thing. And
Absolutely.
so my question is, as far as is the credit repair, that's the business that you're currently doing now. That's your main business, correct?
So, well, so we do credit repair, but mostly what it is it's more of a we do business funding and
Okay.
business coaching.
Okay.
But one element of the business funding is the credit repair because sometimes people will come to you and not really be in the right position to get the business funding. And so one of the ways that we help them, depending on the route they want to go, is through credit repair. I
Mm,
hate credit repair, honestly, but so what I've been able to do is find alternative ways to get them funding so that they don't even need their credit. And that came from the pain of me having to deal with unrealistic expectations around credit repair. So yeah, we do it, but we also have other things too, like we have a renovations company that we that basically came out of the depths of COVID-19 and 20 when the real estate market was going crazy, and we were kind of in bad positions because of just how things inside of the real estate market was going. So we
mm,
made the decision to not buy and flip anymore. We made the decision to just now renovate houses that are owned by brokerages because they buy them in bulk. That means that we can renovate them in bulk. And so, we were able to sustain like that. But now we're going back to the process of buying and holding because anything I buy now, that joint is not going nowhere because
yes.
wealth is a journey. Wealth is a
Yes.
journey, right? And part of
Yes.
that journey is buying it and holding on to it. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, that's all. That's awesome, bro. Because I remember speaking about real estate. I thought when you I think Dave called you to speak about something one day, not to present or anything, like just to talk, and you were like, "Yeah,
yeah.
I'm going to this house." I thought that you were like a contractor.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I thought you did, but that has nothing to do with what I'm about to say. I just wanted to make sure I
But
made
kind of
that.
am because I have a contracting business. That's
Yeah,
the renovations
but
business. Yep. So,
that's what I thought your thing was. I thought, you
gotcha.
were,
Okay.
yeah. But one thing as far as like the wealth building journey that like you just start, right? So I just started
Yep.
and I'm buying rental properties, never even thinking about the appreciation of the houses. Like how that is actually going to build you wealth. So back when in 2007, 2008 when we bought our first property, we were just thinking about the rents. Bring
Yeah.
bring the rents in. That's all we're worried about. How can these rents supplement our income so then we can eventually leave our corporate jobs?
Right.
Never thought about the appreciation of the houses, bro. Like
Wow.
that's a whole nother
That's
side of the
crazy.
thing that like as far as wealth building that
Yeah.
we never even think of. But I just like my thing is just telling people just to start. Like
Yeah.
your eye as you start, God will start opening your eyes up to different things that you never even thought of, bro. And as you were talking, that's why I said that because I thought about that the appreciation of the house, man.
No, but to your point, that's why it's important for people to understand like wealth is a journey, right? First of all, it's a journey, it's not a destination.
Yeah.
So it's not a place that you're at, it's a place that you're always traveling on. And the reason why I say that is because most people think about wealth as being just a dollar amount or a financial position, but you have spiritual wealth, you have emotional wealth, you have mental wealth, you have all these different types of wealth, and they all really go hand in hand because most people who are in a real bad financial situation, a lot of times they can't even think clear enough to even think about God, or they can't think clear enough to even be in a position to really be considerate of another human being. Right. And so I think if people will look at it from that perspective about like even with like your thing, wealth is a journey. I love that name, bro,
Thank you, man.
because it's something that it's a path we're always on. And so, like you said, you just started, you and your wife, not even thinking about the appreciation. Your whole thing was the rents.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but over time, you see, like, well, we didn't even realize, yo, we got a whole nother bag over here with this appreciation.
Bro.
And if you bought something back then and you held it, still got it, bro, I know that a bag came along with that. I already know it. I can tell by the smile on your face, bro.
Yes. Yes. I'm
So yeah,
I'm
that's
I'm, I'm
important, bro.
yeah, I'm appreciative. And one thing that you said that I think we need to just stay right here for a second. When people are going through different situations financially, like
Mhm.
they make the worst decisions because they just want
Yep.
the problem to go away. And the first person that comes along and says, "Hey, I can fix this for you, and you just pay me $10,000 and I'll go ahead and make it go away." It doesn't really work like that.
Uh,
And I really want people to understand that, like, yo, it took you, it didn't take you like this to go get into the situation. So it's not going to take you like that to get out of the
yep.
situation. It's again, it's a journey. So it's going to take you some
Journey.
time. And as you go through that thing, it's the seed of the equivalent benefit is going to happen to you. So you got to
Yep.
understand that once you learn the lesson of whatever you're coming out of or going through, hopefully you'll never go back to that place again. So you gotta just walk through it.
Yep.
You gotta walk through it, man. So I
Yep.
I I wanted to make sure we talked about that for a second, man.
There's a quote I heard, man, that and I'm probably gonna butcher it, but it goes something like life will continue to give you the same problem until you have learned the lesson that you're intended to learn. Because once you learn the lesson, you can move on from that. And then there's another lesson waiting on you, of course, but you're gonna go through that same problem, repeat it over and over again until you get the lesson. What is the lesson in what you're going through?
Yeah,
And then once you got it, you can just move on to the next situation.
agreed, agreed. And I think one thing that I'm incorporating in my talks, especially if I know that they're believers, right?
Yeah,
Because I think honestly, bro, I feel like God is the real cheat code because
100%.
because in the Bible, and we're not preaching here, but in the Bible, in the Bible, there's so many different stories of how God spoke to this person. They did
Yeah.
what he said and they
Yep.
won as a result of it. Or somebody else, somebody else's life benefited from that person's obedience.
Yep.
So if you pray to God, uh if you pray to him and talk to him and get guidance and wisdom and things of that nature and do what it says in the word, then he'll talk back to you on not audibly, but on the inside. You'll hear like a still small voice, hey, you maybe don't do that over there. Or hey, maybe don't go to that party, or maybe don't consume this thing or whatever the case may be. And I started incorporating God in my business by just, even buying stocks and buying real estate and things like that. And I think that's the true cheat code, bro. Since
Absolutely.
we're talking about God and different things of that nature. And I think that as believers, if we can incorporate God in our business, we'll go so much further and we'll be able to eliminate a lot of headaches that we go through along the way.
I agree. I agree, bro. I mean, think about it. Um, I was just talking about him today. I can't even think of his name right now, but he was on Morning Meetup not too long ago. Actually, Dave is down there at this thing right now. Myron
Oh,
Golden.
Myron Golden, yeah.
My man's whole his whole business model principle and just everything that he does is around pulling the financial gems out of the Bible.
Hmm.
There's people that don't even believe in God, bro, but they are literally reading the Bible to try to find just the financial gain that the Bible possess. I don't know if you've seen it, bro, but I've seen it and I've kind of noticed it a lot, which is I'm hearing a lot of people nowadays when there's the podcast where the guys go around and they just I don't know if it's a podcast, they just go around and ask people questions
Yeah.
and they're like, how did you become rich or whatever, whatever. And so what I'm noticing a trend of is there's a lot of people saying, man, believe it or not, man, I just read the Bible. Bible. I just read the Bible and so there's people who I just want to make sure people don't get lost in looking at the Bible as the textbook. And again, we're not preaching, right?
Yeah.
But I just don't want people to get lost in looking at the Bible as just a book that has all of the philosophy and man-made wisdom to be able to really get to like financial gain. Because the richest man in the Bible was Solomon, right?
Hmm.
But when you read the book of Ecclesiastes, he said, meaningless, meaningless. It's a chasing after the wind. Everything is meaningless. He said the only thing that matters is to obey and fear God and obey his commandments. He said, besides that, everything else is meaningless. And he said that's the whole conclusion of the matter. So it's important for people to know that, yeah, the Bible does have a lot of like good information that'll give us a lot of financial gain. But
Hmm.
at the same time, we need to make sure that we're seeking the source as well. So I
Facts.
just wanted to make sure that that was added because, it's almost like if you look at the video I posted right before I got on here, one of the things that happen a lot on social media is people will tell you how to get credit or all the different hacks and all the different strategies. But what they don't tell you is what to do with it when you got it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
so that's where I'm different at because not only do I tell people how to get the stuff, but I'm gonna show them what they need to do in order to make it grow for them. And so my point in mentioning that is it makes me think a lot back to what I was just saying is it's almost like people that are using a Bible to reference the way to become successful, but the thing that's most important they're missing a lot of times is actually the one who created all things. So just wanted to
Facts.
definitely make sure that that was notated. Put a
No
big
doubt,
G up there.
bro. Yeah, man. No, it's important, man. It's important to have a relationship. It's important to get the principles because there's so many different gems, man. It'll save you so much
Absolutely.
headache and heartache and not have to chase because if you have the relationship, you're listening, he's gonna tell you how to get the bag. And
Absolutely.
then it's gonna save you time from having to feel like you have to go get it.
By yourself. Yep.
Exactly. Exactly,
Yeah.
bruh. Um, yeah, man. This is good, man. So what instance? I know you do what you do, but what instance would you not work with somebody?
If they are if they're a person who I don't like to be around, just being honest,
Yeah,
if it's somebody who I wouldn't want to hang out with, I don't
mm,
even want to do business with you.
yeah,
And that's one of the things I like about it is that, I get to choose who I work with. I don't need your money. So, I can tell you to go, there's a million other people you can go hire. Um, but really it's they have to be somebody that I would like to hang out with or I wouldn't mind hanging out with because these conversations, man, I'm not you one of the things that's different too is that when you work with me, it's not like you just get access to guidance for an hour a week or an hour a month. When that's how some people's programs are, they don't get access to that person at all. I'm so hands-on in what happens inside of my business that I gotta like talking to you. You know what I'm saying? And if I don't want to work with you. And if you don't like talking to me, I don't want you to work with me. And so that's the reason why, and a lot of people disagree with it, but that's the reason why I do discovery calls,
hmm
which is like a
hmm
free consultation because I want to see, A, do I even like you as a person?
yeah,
And I want to see too, B, do you even like me as a person? Because I might not be your cup of tea. You might not be my cup of tea. And it's
yeah,
just best that I don't take anything from you so I don't feel obligated to help you. And you don't give me anything so you don't feel obligated for me to help you. And I may not want you as a client, but even at the end of the discovery call, I always give them value. I always give everybody that comes to my calls, I always give them something tangible that they can take and implement to make their situation better. But
yeah.
I'm just probably not going to accept them as a client.
That's dope, man. And I think that's another thing that is valuable about having even as an entrepreneur, it's valuable about having your finances in order and your
Yeah.
stuff together
Yep.
because you're not chasing after clients because some of
Yep.
those clients may be the wrong ones, but because
Absolutely.
your stuff may not be in order at the time, and you're chasing after these people and it's again, it's that headache. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Um but I listen, man. I got this shirt on, and if you don't know what it means, it
I was
means
gonna
stop.
ask you about that shirt, bro.
Yeah, it means stop pocket watching. So go out, yeah,
Oh,
stop pocket watching.
I like that.
Go out and get your own. And if you're using people for motivational purposes, that's good. But don't pocket watch. Don't do that. Now, I'm setting this up because I'm not pocket watching. However, I saw another clip that said you did an M in your
Yeah.
business last year. So first of
Yeah.
all, congratulations, bro.
Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. I
Congratulations,
appreciate
man.
that.
So my question to you is, first of all, congratulations again. My question to you is, when you made the $1 million in your business, how did it feel? But I have another question along with that.
Okay.
Because when I think all of our goals and aspirations is, hey, I'm gonna make a six figures.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make six figures. And when you make the six figures, it's like, okay, I made the six figures. Now what?
Yep.
And it doesn't feel as good as you may think.
Yeah.
So my question to you is, how did when you made the M, how did it feel? Were you like, oh,
The
okay,
same
cool.
way.
Yeah.
The same way.
I figured that, but I wasn't sure,
Yeah.
man, because I never
Yeah.
made $1 million yet. But
The same way, man. You know, Che, to tell you that honestly, bro, first of all, I really appreciate you because it it, it wasn't necessarily an easy task, but I'm really thankful for it. The thing that felt the best to me was when I looked at how much I paid my painter. My painter, all he does primarily is paint, and I paid him over $100,000. And so, and he's like, and I have other people that I have to do haulaways and just other stuff too. Um, so the million that I got was from the renovations business. And
oh
so
man,
my painter, yeah, that's what I'm telling you, bro. Brokerages, partnering with brokerages who buy all these houses, man, it's stupid. It's stupid, especially if you got good relationships with them. But this guy, bro, he has what's so amazing is because he made so much money that year. He's working on bringing his family from where's he from? He's from Venezuela. He's trying to bring his family from Venezuela. So him making all of that money, it put him in a position to be able to now bring his family to the USA. And so, and he's such an amazing guy. I really love this dude, man. His name is Oscar. Oscar, if you see this, man, shout out to you. This guy has saved me so many times where I've been in a crunch or a bind because one of my other workers just dropped the ball. I'm talking about my man doesn't fail, yo. He'll be like, all right, what we doing? I got you. And so he has seen my loyalty to him and my dedication to him. And in turn, he has repaid me with his loyalty and with his dedication. And so the greatest thing, even out of making the money, man, really is just looking at what I paid my painter. Like, and there's another thing to that too. You know, I speak at schools, man. And when I go to these schools and talk, I'll use him as an example because I want these kids to understand you don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a neuroscience. You don't have to be you don't have to be some rocket science. You don't have to scientist. You don't have to do any of that stuff. You can learn a trade, bro, and be really good at what you do and be a good person, and you're gonna win. You'll win. So it's important that these trades, man, like painting, like my man is killing it, bro. He's getting bread. So that really was the greatest feeling when I had to look at what I paid him was better than honestly than what I made myself.
that's crazy, bro. That's insane,
Yeah.
man.
The M feels like the six figures that everybody just want to get. And when you get it, it's like just like, yo, this ain't even enough, bro. This ain't it just you know, and I don't want to give the wrong impression. Like I'm very thankful. I'm blessed for me to see the tithe that I paid to my church. That was impressive. That was extremely, I was like, dang,
Yeah,
to be able to not, I can't put my tithe inside, I can't put it in my envelope in cash. I gotta write a check.
Let's go.
You
Let's
know what I'm
go.
saying, bro? Like that feeling,
yeah.
the feeling of being able to write out a check for my tithe. Like I never thought I would be able to do that, bro. There's a guy, my brother Matthew, CEO Matty J, shout out to him. I would see him in service or like, you know, I would see him sometimes writing his check out to pay his tithe. And I was like, man, that looks good, man. I don't know what his numbers are.
Yeah.
I just see what he's doing. I would see David Shands writing his tithe out. Oh man, I can't wait to write my tithe out on a check. I wrote my tithe out on a check, bro, because it was too large to be able to put cash. So that feeling was just amazing as well, bro.
Bro, man, that's amazing, man. I would well when I get to do that, I'm calling
You're
you.
already doing it. You just don't realize it yet.
Yeah, it's in little chunks here and there, but it's on the way, man. Listen, man, this conversation, bro. Like, first of all, this is not gonna be the last time you on here. You gonna be back again, and this has been an unbelievable conversation. But we could probably talk for hours, but I don't wanna take up your time. Your wife probably gonna come downstairs like, hey man, what's going on here? I don't want all that.
She know better. I wear the pants in my household. Now I'm just joking.
Josh, now you lying. Now I know that, fan. I've been married almost 19 years, and I know that. I say the same thing.
Congrats, bro. Congrats. That's dope.
Thank you.
I've been married, I think, 16 years.
Let's
so
go.
yeah.
Let's
That's
go.
good, bro. That's
Yes.
good.
Yes, yeah, man. So I know when you capping, because I do the same thing. I'll be talking crazy to her in front of our friends, and everybody knows
Exactly.
that I'm capping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, get over here, come here now, give me a kiss.
I wear these pants in my household. Whole time she's like, bro, take my pants off. Those my pants.
That's oh
That's
man, but
hilarious, bro. We all like that though. We all do the same
for
thing.
sure, for sure, bro. But my last question to you is what's next for Josh Earl, man? What's next for you? What do you have going?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Che. Bro, really, it's doing a lot more of what I'm doing now, which is putting myself out there in a public eye and really showing or taking the talents and the gift that God has given me to be able to now help and impact other people's lives. Um, a lot of what I used to do would be in secret, I guess. I felt weird recording myself. I felt weird like posting content and I think a lot of it is childhood trauma because again, how I grew up and the things that I was doing were illegal. So I didn't want to be recorded.
Yeah,
um, but for me, man, what's next really is building my personal brand to the place in which I'm able to positively impact other people's lives just by me existing. And I really want to get to that level of all I can do is show up and it's going to bring attention to whatever is happening and positively impact this person's life. Kind of like what Keith Lee does for restaurants. I
mm,
want to be that person for entrepreneurs. I want to say, yo, go check out Wealth is a Journey, right? And then they get flooded with people that's going to check it out and just being able to command that type of motion from people. So I have to work on myself diligently to really be able to deserve that. And so that's what I'm doing now. And that's why I thank you for allowing me to be on your platform, bro, because this really is allowing me to now get more comfortable, sharing my story and being vulnerable with people, man. So I appreciate you for that, bro.
oh, for sure, bro. Like I said, man, the energy, the vibe, bro. Like I got a connection with you,
Yeah,
and
me too.
again, this is
Absolutely.
the first conversation that we've ever had.
Crazy, bro. I didn't even realize that until you said it. Like when
Yeah,
I see you, I'm like, yo, that's my man, Che.
yeah,
What up, bro? What up? What up? What up? And this is the first real conversation we've had. Yo, it's mind blowing, bro.
yeah, yeah, man.
That's
So when
crazy.
so when you got a connection with somebody and it's genuine, the love is there, and I want to see you win, and I know the feeling's mutual. You want
Likewise,
to see me
bro.
win and all that. So
Absolutely.
we're going to win. We are going to continue to win,
Absolutely.
and we're going to continue to shed light on if I can do it, you can do it, and here's how I
Absolutely.
can help you do it. And then again, give God his just due for
Absolutely.
pulling me out of where we were,
Yep.
and putting us here and allowing us to exist here to impact other people's lives, man. So again, bro, thank you so much for being on the podcast, man. Again, this is not gonna be your last time. You're gonna
Absolutely.
be
I definitely look
on the
forward to
pod
coming back.
again. Yes, sir. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you guys got some nuggets. Hopefully you guys got some positive reinforcement, some hope that if Josh can come from where he came from, doing the things that he was doing, and believing in himself, believing in the creator, believing in God, that good things can happen for him, and then they just start happening. But you got to
Yep.
keep working. It's not going to happen by osmosis. We gotta go. We got to get to it, man. And Josh, I again, I appreciate you being on here, bro. This was a really, really impactful conversation. So hopefully, the people feel the same way. Wealth is a
I appreciate
journey.
you, Che.
Absolutely, wealth is a journey. We will see you next week.